Want to boost up your productivity by hyper focusing? Keep watching. Hi, I'm Catherine Lazardo. I'm a thriving ADHD mom, speaker, and lawyer. Turning on your hyper focus can be challenging. That's because it's so unpredictable. But I think there's a way to increase the chances of us hyper focusing at the right time at the right place. According to one of the leading ADHD experts, Dr. William Dodson, people with ADHD have a different nervous system than people without ADHD. I think understanding that concept would unlock our hyperfocus, which in turn would unlock our productivity. So let's dive in. Dr. Dodson coined the terms interest based nervous system for people with ADHD and importance based nervous system for people without. For people without ADHD, they can complete a task based on how important it is. And what they believe is important is based on obligations, duty, and long term goals. How they define those important items and how they prioritize them depends on what's important according to their family, their society, their culture, their workplace, basically external factors that affect them. That's why when they are trying to do something that's important, but something they're not interested in, it requires great effort and self regulation to keep their attention. But self regulation is pretty much the same as executive function. And people with ADHD have a hard time regulating our executive function or with self regulation. That's why for people without ADHD, learning becomes less efficient and more demanding when they're doing tasks that are not interesting for them, but they know it's important and they must do it. So it increases compliance, discipline, and goal oriented activities. But at the same time, it makes them feel stressed, anxiety, a sense of duty, and it's not really that enjoyable for them. But they are able to do it. Have you had those tasks or to do lists that people tell you, just do it? You have to do this so you can get paid, or you have to do this because it's your job, or you have to do this because it's your responsibility. But when it's not interesting for our ADHD brain, it is so hard to get them done, right? I know, I've been there. That's why when we talk about interest based nervous system, it makes so much sense because interest based nervous system for people with ADHD, it sparks our curiosity, motivation, and excitement. When the task is motivating and exciting, then we are curious, we are motivated, we are excited about doing it. Then we start prioritizing what should we do? We prioritize what we're passionate about, not what is important. Then our attention and focus becomes effortless. We can do it even without thinking. And we hyper focus to the extreme sometimes that we forget to eat, we forget to drink, we even forget to go to the bathroom. We be doing what we need to do that we're hyper focused on and interested in for hours at a time without even realizing that we're neglecting our health or other people. That's when the hyper focus becomes unhealthy. But when used correctly, it can get so much done in one day. Also, when we're interested in what we're doing, it transforms us into what I call the sponge learners, where we engage in vast learning about everything about that topic and we remember them. The deep memory is so strong that we can regurgitate facts or numbers and percentages just because we're so interested in it. So, doing a task that we're interested in increases our creativity, our exploration. We start experimenting. What can we do here? What if we do here? What if? And we start innovating. We feel happy. We feel like we're thriving and we feel satisfied and fulfilled. That's what people with ADHD feel when we're using our interest based nervous system. How can we harness our interest based nervous system? This, I think, is the most important part of this video. What turns on our interest based nervous system depends on these 5 categories: interest, novel, challenging, urgent, and passion. And the acronym for that is in cup. If it's in your cup of tea, then you will be interested in it. That's a way of me remembering that acronym. When you're interested in the subject or the topic or the task that you need to do, then it activates your interest based nervous system and you start feeling all of that. Novel means something new. If you're trying to do a new task, a new topic, a new job, you're always so interested about it. And then remember those times when you start after the novelty ends, your interest starts waning down and you don't feel the same excitement and curiosity anymore. That's because we love novel things, new things. And then challenging. When something is challenging, and it could be a competition, it could be just something that's hard to understand, but we can understand or we're better at it than most people, then we're challenged to do it. Our interest based nervous system activates. When something is urgent, definitely our interest based nervous system activates. This is why many people with ADHD procrastinate, because when we know we're right at a deadline, then we start hyper focusing and we can finish what we were supposed to do in 3 months by studying and pulling an all-nighter and getting an A at a test, or writing an essay that we were supposed to write, or turning in a report that we were supposed to write. Most importantly, people with ADHD love doing what they're passionate about. If you find something that you're passionate about, you want to do it, and you want to do it now. You hyper focus on it, you learn everything about it, and you become a master of it. This is how you can turn on your hyper focus. When you're doing a task that you don't like, let's say, try to think of it as, what can I find interesting about this boring task? Or what is something new about this boring task that I didn't realize before? What's challenging? You can create urgency and say, you know what? In 2 hours, I better figure this out. Or else you can have a self imposed deadline, or usually at work, there is a deadline. I remember when I worked for other law firms before, when I was a lawyer, I thrive when my bosses would tell me, give this memo to me in 2 weeks, as opposed to saying, oh, research this and write me a memo. And it's an open ended invitation as to when I'm going to submit it. I don't feel any sense of urgency. When there's a deadline, it triggers our interest based nervous system. So if someone doesn't give you a deadline, create a deadline for yourself and see how that goes. But most importantly, passion. We're such passionate people, ADHDer. So find your passion, and you'll find them because they will make you feel interested. It'll be challenging. It'll feel novel every time you do it, even though it's something you do over and over again. And when you find these things in both boring task, and boring is kryptonite for us ADHDer, we feel physical pain, not just mental pain, with being boring. So when you feel bored about a particular project, a particular task, try to find something in cup to activate your interest based nervous system. And once you find that, you just turn on your hyperfocus. And the beauty is, once you find your passion, Your interest-based nervous system will be on most of the time whenever you need it. And it becomes second nature. And your life will feel so happy, thriving, and satisfied, and you will be content. That's why I call myself a thriving ADHD mom, because I've activated my in cup so that I can activate my interest based nervous system and unlock my productivity. If you want to learn more about ADHD and productivity, I'll see you in my other videos, and I appreciate you.